you want to know how amazing people connect? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie.
Thanks for connecting. And if you like what you hear, please share.
Special thank you to our sponsors this morning, the Gregory Home team of Keller Williams. For more information, go to sellwithgregory.com and Haugen's Gallery Portrait Studio. For all your portrait needs, go to haugensgallery.com. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie. I am so excited this morning for the podcast. You know, I've got my little band beanie on here. I'm all ready because I have two outstanding musicians today. The lead singer, guitar player for Citizens, a band out of the Seattle area, and now they're kind of spread all over the place. And the person currently playing lead guitar for them, Mr. Connor Hedge, who happens to be my son. And so they're both with me today. I'm super excited about that. We're going to talk about a lot of cool stuff in music and all that they're doing. But first, wanted to remind you that I am Russ Hedge. I am an inspiration specialist, coach, and motivational speaker, and I love to connect with people. In fact, you can go to russhedge.com and connect with me anytime you want. Has all my social media links, my email, my phone number. You can even schedule time to connect directly with me, and I would love to chat with you. Also, as you can see, I am the author of Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose, a great inspirational book helping you to learn to live the life you choose. You know, lots of stuff happens to us, but you get to choose what you do with it. That's right. Also, don't forget, every week, this podcast, Marketing with Russ, goes live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, Mondays and Thursdays, 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. That's right, 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. You can jump on, watch the outstanding guests. They are amazing people who connect. That's our theme, amazing people who connect. I'm so excited about our guest today. And, you know, music is one of the greatest connectors of all time. You know, it drives emotion. I have loved music my whole life. So instead of me talking about it, I'm going to bring them in this morning. First of all, here is Mr. Zach Bolen and Mr. Connor Hedge. There they are. Hey, guys.
Hey.
Hey, Dad.
How's it going, guys?
Great, man. How are you, Russ?
So good. So good. Hey, we're going to start with you this morning, Zach. And, you know, we were talking about the heat and the humidity over there in Nashville. Woo. And, you know, that's where all the music stuff's happening. Well, at least some of it. So we want you to tell us a little bit about how you got into music, where you came from, and what you're doing today.
Yes. So I really got into music at a very, very young age. I had my dad. I remember him. He died when I was really young, but some of my lasting memories are him sitting with headphones on and in our living room and singing songs and stuff. And that really stuck with me. And then I had people along the way who were, you know, songwriters and different people at a very young age that I would just sit and listen to. And so, you know, I started taking piano lessons at the age of 6. And when I was in middle school, one day, I had a friend who came over and showed me this song that he wrote. And I was like, wait, you can do that? Like you don't have to follow the sheet music all the time. So I wrote probably my first song that day. You know, I don't know what it was. It was probably terrible, but nevertheless, that really launched me into just. I always loved songwriting, but that finally it gave me like a tool that I could use to help kind of pair together lyrics and melody with music. And so and that all started in Maryland, which is where I grew up. And then life took me on a journey down to Georgia, and I went to a school called SCAD, Savannah College of Art and Design, and was there for a few years. Met my wife, Natalie, and we have 4 kids now. And in fact, we eventually moved to Seattle and lived there for almost 10 years. That's where I met Connor, and that's where Citizens formed. We formed almost within 2 weeks of me moving to Seattle, which is crazy. So, and we've been doing it ever since, and it's been really, really sweet.
So one thing you're doing currently in Nashville, you're doing some music writing,
right,
and some things. I think that you and Connor are doing a couple things together, but
yep.
Obviously you're in different. He's in LA and you're in Nashville. But yeah, so what kind of stuff are you doing there currently, if you could share?
Yeah, so I mean, one of the big things that really prompted us to move to Nashville was to really invest more time in songwriting. We're in a place where there's thousands of songwriters, tens of thousands of songwriters, people that are really, really talented and great. And it's been really challenging and also really rewarding because I don't know. I just think, and you all have experienced this when you get into a room with people that really love what they do and really care about what they do, and it just happens to be the same thing that you really care about as well. There's a lot of really special things that can happen in that. And I had that in Seattle, and I'm just experiencing it in a much bigger version now in a place where there's a lot of people doing the same thing I am. So
yeah, you know, I think that's that like connection. I mean, you know, you guys have the same mindset about
Yep.
what you want to achieve, and I think that has been so great. I know that's how you and Connor met, because of course he loves music and been doing things his whole life. Connor, for those people, I know a little bit about you, so for those that don't, tell us.
I'll fill you in.
Yeah, fill me in.
I'll fill you in on the details, Dad, of my life here. Okay, so both of my parents are musical. So growing up in a musical household, I think first and foremost is kind of the main influence for me. Dad, you were a choir director and band leader at church, and you know, you would sing and play piano, and then Mom singing, writing songs. She was in a band for a little while that would travel and do some stuff, and then ultimately both of you guys sharing music with me and Kyla, my sister. I just remember dancing around in the living room to various 80s pop bands, and having that just be such a formative time of my life. Just enjoying the sounds I was hearing, and the way it made me feel was something that I wanted to be a part of. And having a mother that wrote a ton of songs, and I remember hearing her in your room writing with the keyboard, and wanting to kind of try that out for myself. And so I started to do that, and then before too long I was forming a couple different bands with some guys from school, and kind of from there it was just, I knew that that's what I gave up my dreams to be in the NBA, which was heartbreaking, but I figured I had to do it. I had to let it go, and decided to go all in on music and just keep pursuing that. Ended up moving from Salem, Oregon to Seattle, where I went to school. Met a bunch of great musicians, Zach being one of them, and got connected with just some really amazing folks up there. Started traveling around with Citizens some, doing some stuff in the studio, and then about 2-ish years ago, when my now wife Gabby and I were kind of deciding where we wanted to live, we just thought the LA might be a good place, just because there's a ton of music happening here, and I'm glad we made that decision because even though it's been a pandemic, we've been able to just connect with some great folks. And now I'm working at a mastering studio in Pasadena where we live. And yeah, just trying to do as much music as I can.
What I think is great about both of you is living your passion, living your purpose for your life. You know, I know both of you are God-centered too, which is all very important to me. But I think that the fact that you have so much passion and excitement for what you do, you know, that people, a lot of people envy that because a lot of people feel like they're just doing, a lot of people feel like they're living somebody else's life. They're doing what they are supposed to do, but it's not really what they want to do, what they love to do, what they're passionate about. So when you guys are writing music, you both are outstanding musicians. People can get a taste of Connor's got music all over the place, but the podcast music for this podcast and for everything I do is all written and produced by Connor.
Oh, I thought that was a Connor song. I was
Yeah.
gonna ask.
that 80s sound, I had to give it to you.
That had Connor's name written all over it.
There you go. And Zach, you know, let's start with you. You know, when the writing music, I mean, I love music too, but tell me, you know, the process you go through because it's a lot more complicated than people think.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, similar to, you know, just like, with anything that you're passionate about in life, I think it has moments of being complete obsession and moments of being something that you just, at least for me, it goes from being obsession to just being sometimes where it's like, I need to take a break from it. But no matter what, it's like air for me and I cannot get away from it. I can't escape it. And it's been such a huge part of my life of just processing through faith in relationships and processing through just different experiences in life. And then you start to share music and you begin to see how much of a gift it is to others. And someone said to me one time, they wrote a really big song in the 80s. It was a big church song, or 90s. And they were telling me that, you know, after they wrote the song, they just sort of released it. And it was like, it almost felt like it wasn't their song anymore because it all of a sudden became this song for other people. And so I feel like for me as a writer, I always start from a very personal place, try and write from my own experiences, from the things that I'm living and processing through. And I think what never fails for me is if you really believe in something, there will be other people that believe in it too. And I think that gets validated and affirmed through stories. And that's really honestly like my biggest, I would keep writing no matter what, you know, but I think as like with Citizens and as a songwriter, I keep going with it as a career because I see that it's a utility in people's life, you know?
Right.
And we all hear those songs. It's like those 80s songs Connor's talking about that you turn on every once in a while. It's Friday night and you're like, man, I got to throw that playlist on, you know, because it's serving this need. There's like an emotion or something that's attached to that you want to feel. And I think music is so powerful in that way. And so I've been so moved by it throughout my entire life. And a lot of times I feel like I'm sort of giving back to a certain degree to all those teachers in my life who helped me learn how to write songs way better than songs I'll ever write. So.
Yeah. You know, of course, the 80s is the best music ever. That is my generation. Love the 80s music.
I'm not going to disagree with you. So.
And, you know, are you a perfectionist like Connor?
I definitely am. And I feel like I've paid the price for that many times.
Well, I have firsthand knowledge of Connor, and we'll let him speak for a minute, but writing wonderful songs when he was in high school or younger, actually, but especially high school, and he would produce the whole thing, bring it to us, play it for us. We think it's great. The next day I'd ask him, hey, can I have a copy of that? Love to listen to that in my car. He's like, no, I deleted it. You deleted it? He goes, yeah, I wasn't good. So I just got rid of it. I'm like, what?
Oh, come on.
I know. So Connor, your process of writing music.
I still struggle with that. I don't delete things anymore, but oftentimes I'll just put them on my backup of my backup drive and just basically deleted at that point. Yeah, I definitely have such a high value for songwriting and production, just because I know, similarly to what Zach was saying, like I know the impact it's had on me, and so I take such care with writing and with the gift, if you will, of being able to play instruments and write lyrics and how it all comes together, because of the emotional response that it can have with a person, or make a person want to dance or sing or cry. I mean, like the whole spectrum of emotions can be represented like in one song, which I think is such a unique gift that we've been given in this life. So yeah, I've been learning how to be okay with just releasing a song, even if I feel a certain way about it, or maybe I think, oh, it's not quite done or whatever, because I think that's just the nature of being a creative person that is making art and putting it out there. You're always going to have that a little bit, that inner struggle of like, is it done? Is it ready? So yeah, I really look up to artists that release a ton of music, which is something I'm trying to get better at every day. I just love when you go to an artist's Spotify page or look at their catalog, and they just have song after song after song after song after song, and you can put them on shuffle in your house and their music plays all day. Like that to me is such a cool reward that comes from just putting in the time and paying careful attention to what you're saying, what the music and the chords and the melodies are saying, but at the same time just being okay with putting it out there, because you don't know how any of your songs are gonna hit people until they're out there in their lives. So
yeah, I have a good example of that too, because you're much like your mother in a good way, perfectionist and very, very musically talented. But I know your first song that was very popular that you did at Northwest when you were with Crossing was a song you wrote for a class in about 10 minutes. You didn't think anybody would really like it. You released it and everybody loved it. And they used it in worship services there constantly. So you never know how people are going to do, how people are going to react to your music at times. So I want to talk real quickly about Citizens. I really need to get a song, Zach. I got to say this before I get away. I'd love to do a compilation after we're done today. And if I get a song that I can use pieces of along with the two of you talking, that would be great.
Yes.
But so you could just email that to me or whatever, if that works out.
Yep.
But yeah, when you guys, so Citizens, currently we have, here we have some guests jumping in to say hi. I don't know if you guys know Mark, but he's jumping in this morning. So Citizens is a great band. I love the music, but when you came together, Connor started playing with you part-time, and I know he's still playing with you guys now as you travel around.
Yep.
What was your first intention about? I mean, you had to have some purpose with Citizens originally besides just playing.
Right. That's exactly right. So, when I moved to Seattle, I was I moved there to be a worship director at a church there, and so I met three of the guys that are in the band, Nate, Brian, and Adam, within like the first few days of being there. And the church that we were part of had a band model. It was less of a worship team model. And so it was, hey, each kind of, let's form these bands that sort of stick together as these communities. And so that's really how Citizens began. And I just thought, hey, I grew up with a bunch of hymns that my grandmother would sing to me or playing the piano. And I'd love to just rearrange a bunch of the really common hymns in sort of this kind of rock way. And then we shared that music online through the church's website, like live services and stuff. And it wound up being something that really connected with people, because I think it was in particular, I think a lot of times in the church, especially those from the movement we were part of, people tend to go on a little bit more of a minory kind of approach, make the songs the hymns a little darker, whereas we went pretty like celebratory. And we had a guy in the band at the time from Ireland who just played these amazing, just straight up, he might as well have been playing a bagpipe, but he was playing a guitar, and these amazing guitar riffs and everything. And it just really brought our music to life in a way that all of us had these different musical influences, but us coming together, sure, to play music, but to, more importantly, to make songs that we wanted to sing about Jesus and leading people and into just and taking them on a journey through faith and seeing that there's so much more to life than just this sort of transactional thing where it's like I do this thing and I get this thing, but there's also an aspect of life that I think is far more rewarding, and that's experiencing what it means to sacrifice and give without the expectation of receiving anything in return. And that's really for me what faith in Jesus is. And so because Jesus showed us that. And so that's kind of what our music is about. And sometimes it's really, really explicit as far as just us talking about us saying the name of Jesus, and sometimes it's not. And it's because I think that's just the beauty of writing music about our faith and the journey that it takes us on.
You both, you can see the joy on your faces when you play. And I loved I saw the YouTube video of your recent concert down in Southern Oregon, and great crowd there, by the way, great group. And then you both, the pictures and stuff, you just see it. You see the joy, and people feel that. I love, they're all singing your lyrics with you. They love your songs. And that's just such an awesome thing. And, I can relate to, I love what I do, and I'm so passionate about all that I do. And it makes life so much better. Part of the reason I wrote the book, Live the Life You Choose, we all have the power through Jesus, through the Lord, to live the life we choose. We get to, stuff gets thrown at us, but we get to choose what we do with it. And I think that's so important. And you guys have chosen great paths. And it's amazing that you had a guitarist from Ireland, because I have made some amazing connections in Ireland. In fact,
that's awesome.
My podcast Monday was guest hosted by a friend of mine from Ireland, from Dublin.
I love it.
Yeah, it's fun to be able to connect with people. So, hey, you know what? We are running out of time. I need to have you both give contact information this morning. And, Mark's telling us this morning he loves celebratory music. And we got some good comments going this morning. People listening in on LinkedIn.
Hey, Sub Pop, shout out. Sub Pop.
Yeah. So we're just letting these roll by as we go. And thank you. I hope you've been able to read that book, so I appreciate that. So anyway, but hey, guys, give me Zach, start with your contact information.
Yeah. So obviously on Instagram, you can follow me at Zach Bolen, and that's actually across the board, Facebook, Twitter. I was one of the lucky ones. But then with Citizens Instagram, Citizens Music. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm sorry. Wait, that one's a little more complicated. I think it's Citizens Music. And then on Facebook, it's Citizens the Band. So anyway, that's a great place to follow us. You can DM anything like that. And of course, my email is zachbolen@gmail.com. So, and
I have the wearecitizens.net, your website, scrolling across the bottom as well.
Yep.
So, all right, Connor.
For me, all social media is at Connor Hedge. And then I also have connorhedge.com, which I need to update, so maybe don't go there yet. And then my email is just connorhedge@gmail.com.
Yeah, we were all three lucky, man, because we all got our names at gmail.com. That's amazing. Well, because we are unique individuals.
Yes.
So
Guess
they
so.
were saving that for us. There you go. Hey guys, I appreciate you both so much.
Yeah,
I
thank you,
am
Russ.
going to wrap things up here and send you guys back to the green room for a second, but hang on before you go because I want to chat with you before we wind things up. But
You got it.
thanks so much. Have a blessed day, and I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, Russ, thank
Of
you.
course, Dad. Thank you.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining in again today with Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie, where we always talk to amazing people who connect all across the board. You know, networking, marketing, and connection goes far beyond just business. It goes in through music and all the things we've been talking about today. And, you know, I could tell all kinds of stories about Connor, but I won't. But there is so much connection and emotion involved in music. And if you've not heard Citizens today, make sure and do that. I'll get a compilation video that has a little bit of this in it, along with some of their music that we'll release here on social media in the next day or two. So anyway, until we meet again, I just want to thank everybody for jumping in. Have a great day and a great life. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie. Be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an amazing day.